Good morning, folks. This is Sam. I'm going to take you on a quick exercise walk with me. So we'll be walking and talking about how to lose weight, how to be healthy, wealthy, and wise. So today's conversation will be about the necessity of going for daily walks. No exceptions. You just go for a walk. You put on the watch here that's going to keep track of your steps, your pulse, your heartbeat, your distance, and at least a minimum of 6,000 steps, or 3 miles basically. See, especially if it's a nice day like this, summer day, you just make sure you bring some water with you so you would be hydrated. And we're going to talk about how to be healthy. I will also mention if you're overweight, how to lose some weight using natural remedies. For instance, I will share with you how to buy an organic fruit at any grocery store in America. So you could take it in the morning on an empty stomach to jumpstart your metabolism in the morning. And also I'm going to share with you how to get into this routine for getting your early morning meditation, prayer, and then early morning walk. It's very important to start your day without looking at the social media or the news, but to be completely and totally prepared for a new day. And the only way to do that is through meditation, prayer, meditation, whatever you want to use. I'm not here to proselytize. I'm just here to bring up the importance of that intention to have a great day, intention to be healthy, intention to be in a good mood, preferably, especially if you can surround yourself with positive people. That's going to be very, very important. And once again, daily walks. Daily walks are crucial for you to be spending your time outdoors in this beautiful in the nature, and be connecting and getting the energy of the trees, of the air, of the earth, and so on and so forth. So let's talk about your diet. So if you need to lose weight naturally, you would have to make some adjustments. For instance, you have to minimize eating obviously pastry, sugar, candy, chocolates, anything like that, breads, pasta, anything that has to do with flour. Flour is not your friend. Eating salads is much more recommended. So basically an organic salad with some filtered water and some nuts, mixed nuts. That would be hazelnuts, walnuts, pecans, almonds, even peanuts, but mixed nuts would give you the protein. Now, some people say eating organic or wild-caught salmon is the way to go. Folks, I'm here to tell you that it's not all that simple. I had a friend of mine who lives in Florida. He almost lost his life because he went on this nothing but fish diet, and he collapsed one day after being 6 months on that salmon diet. He only ate salmon and salads. And what they found, the toxicology report found 400% of allowed metals in his body, heavy metals such as mercury and many other heavy metals, from fish, from salmon. And he was spending top dollar on it. So that means that not even so-called wild-caught salmon is safe. And in our office, I'll be interviewing Dr. Wilson, who will share with you all of the results that we have in our office about what you can buy in the store. It's absolutely devastating. meaning we cannot really, it's not safe to buy almost anything. That's right, anything, even organic, in the organic section of any store, is not safe. So what are we to do? Well, now listen, even if you have reverse osmosis filtration system, that still leaves microscopic particles, shards of glass and plastic in the water. Even if you use glass containers, never plastic, of course. So what are we to do? Well, we're here to do what we can. We are here to eat this organic salads, nuts, preferably no meat of any kind, and filtered water, and then hope and pray that it's going to be the best we could do. And this is the best we could do, but the point is, anything short of that, this is why many people today have diabetes, type 2 diabetes. Many children they're autistic because the cesarean section, the women gave birth via the bypassing the vaginal canal. So the cesarean section, C-section, was performed, and as a result of that, the baby did not get all the microbiome from the mother, and the baby was born under different conditions. Ideally, you see, the baby should be born traditionally at home, and would be released in a warm kind of a pool with dimmed light, not bright lights, but dim light. And what that does is it allows the baby to naturally adapt to the new environment, because the baby's in the womb for 6 or 9 months, and then the baby is actually exposed to the bright lights at the hospital if the birth takes place at the hospital. And ideally, you would have a special pool with warm water and a midwife helping you with the birth. A midwife and a doula. A doula is a midwife that takes care of the pregnant woman's psychological state. That's kind of the emotional support. And the midwife is actually basically handling the baby as it naturally detaches from the umbilical cord. Naturally, it should not be cut. That's a good birth. If you have a midwife, if you have a doula for emotional support, and if you're a woman giving birth at home with dim lights and in warm water. So that tells me that basically most births today are highly traumatized children. Plus, with the C-section, the baby does not get the microbiome that's necessary for a healthy life. So that said, that kind of summarizes the fact that we are all having essentially a crisis. A crisis, we cannot buy anything that's healthy. A crisis, we cannot even give birth to healthy children because of the process that's been altered on many levels, not just because it's bright lights in the hospital and there's no doula for emotional support. What the hell is the husband doing there? You see, this modern idea that the husband should be present. For what? It was never done that way. Only women would help women because they understand the process. Again, 2 women should be present in the room. A doula for emotional support and a midwife who will be physically handling the baby, catching the baby in the water, and then just showing support to the baby, you see, while the doula will be at the feet of the woman giving birth. That's how it's done. Then the baby is born normal and healthy and without any autistic tendencies and without any allergies. You see, this allergic reaction to this and that, that's completely, it's out of control, folks. I know you know this, but the point is, everything is topsy-turvy today in our world. And I'm here to encourage you, inspire you. And when I'll be interviewing Dr. Cooper, who is the father of aerobics. He is from Oklahoma, moved to Dallas, Texas, and in 1966 he coined the term aerobics. That's right, prior to him there was no such term. And then in 1980s you've seen the movie Flashdance where they have leg warmers and stuff like that. That came later. But Dr. Cooper was the essentially the inventor of the term aerobics. So this is who I'm going to interview sometime on possibly next week. So but I will give you a few clues here. So daily walks like this, bring some water with you, keep positive essentially positive company, no negativity. That's the best way to surround yourself. If you have anybody that's even remotely giving you negativity, you have to create a distance, a physical distance, an emotional distance too. So what else? If you need one-on-one inspiration and coaching, I would be happy to be that voice for you. We could have phone conversations, and I'll help you get on the path to losing weight and being healthy, especially if you've been struggling with unhealthy diet, unhealthy living. And it would be my pleasure, because you see, Dr. Wilson and I, we're part of the same office. There are 29 of us, and we are investors. So we've exited from startups many years ago, and we're into supercomputers. So we invested into the most powerful computer in 1992, a supercomputer that deals with large numbers, essentially. There's no such thing as AI, folks. They're lying to you. It's a marketing gimmick. When they say AI, there's no such thing as AI. Again, it's a marketing gimmick to try to fool you, control you, stuff like that. There is no AI. There is no artificial intelligence, because it's an algorithm that runs inside a computer, but not an ordinary computer, but a supercomputer. So since 1992, on my desk, I had access to the supercomputer since August of 1992. And at that time, just to paint you a picture of what it looked like, well, I had a monitor, I had a video camera, and 2 audio speakers, stereo speakers on both sides, and a microphone. So I was able to have a teleconferencing capability back in 1992 the same way you have your Zoom meetings today. So what you have today, and I could ask any questions from our computer, and it would answer with a female voice. We had a professional actress that was recorded, and all her answers were kind of spliced into appropriate answers, so it sounded like a natural human voice, not the computerized synthetic voice, synthesized voice, but natural voice, like a human, like me talking to you. You could tell it's a human being, not a computer. So you could ask any question and she would answer, because it was running a special algorithm. See, we programmed it a certain way. And so what you might call AI, we had in 1992. Can you imagine what we have today, that kind of AI in quotation marks, So back in the day, in order to have a video conferencing, you had to have what's called a T1 line. That's the most reliable kind of a internet connection. T1 line used to be about $1,500, $1,500, and the bandwidth limited to only 1.5 megabits per second download speed and 1.5 upload speed. But it was actually set up to where it was 768K upload and 1.5 megabits per second download speed. That's in 1992, $1,500. It's called a T1 line. In Europe, they're called E1 lines, which is something very similar. But anyway, so that's what we used to have as the top-notch T1 circuits for teleconferencing. What you would have today, like Zoom or Skype or any other video conferencing service, WhatsApp or something like that. But it was very secure. So that's what I had since August of 1992. A computer that would audibly answer with a female voice all my questions, like, what's the population of planet Earth? What's the population of the United States of America? What is this? What is that? And we would train it. And so today, we are light years ahead of what you might call ChatGPT 4.0, 5.0, 6.0, 7.0, 9.0, whatever you might add. We're ahead of it. And so what I can do, so in other words, my point is I don't need anything from you. You don't have to subscribe to this video, to our channel. I'm simply sharing this information to let you know that you've been eating wrong, you've been fed the wrong data, you've been fed a bunch of lies, basically. And I'll be sharing with you how the global financial system works, starting with the U.S. Financial system, because when I was in college, a freshman in college, since I was 17, our economics professor took us to the closest central bank office, and we went on a tour. In America, central bank is called something else. It's like in most countries called central bank, but in America it's called the Federal Reserve System, or the Federal Reserve Bank. And so basically I learned from an early age how the system works, how the financial system works, folks. And I will share this with you for your general education, so you would know who is controlling the markets, how this quantitative easing works. And I've known this since I was 17. Imagine that. Not just by reading textbooks, but by it's always good to smell this. It smells like honey. So it's basically it's very useful to have this information, because you understand that the capitalistic financial system is flawed. It's flawed with booms and busts. And you can also look up the theory of reflexivity. It was created in the 80s by one of the trader. But anyway, so you will learn how every 10 to 20 years our system in America collapses. And people who are in the know, they make billions of dollars. Those who don't know, they lose all the money. So essentially, my point is this: I will help you get well in terms of your health, how to lose weight, how to be healthy, how to live to be 150. Because Dr. Wilson and I, we have all the answers. We've been basically investing a bunch of money into our supercomputer that now creates nanomaterials for us. We don't use plastics, we use nanomaterials. So these materials do not exist. You cannot find them in Earth. You cannot mine them from the Earth. So basically, we are heavily invested into supercomputers, like I mentioned, into smart drones for agriculture. So we created a 27-inch drone that is actually...
Total 1 mile.
See?
22 minutes, 31 seconds. 2,060 steps. Heart rate 113 beats per minute.
It's not too bad, considering it's a warm day. So, where was I? Oh, 27-inch drone that's fully automated, fully autonomous drone to help the farmers essentially take care of their farmland in an autonomous mode. So the drone will be taking pictures up above. It's 27-inch in diameter, weighs 54 pounds, which is about 22 kilograms, 27 inches, 68 centimeters in diameter. And it can, the payload capacity is 225 pounds of our drone. 225 pounds in kilograms, it will be about 102, 103 kilograms approximately. It travels at a speed of 100 miles an hour. That's a cruising speed, which is 160 kilometers per hour, at a distance which is not limited because it's self-charging. And it's electrical, but we don't use any type of, goodness gracious, God forbid, no, we don't use any type of lithium batteries, because that's, caveman mentality. This is obsolete. We haven't even used this terminology, lithium-ion batteries, for the last 25 years. See, because we're connected to a supercomputer, we operate in a different reality. We started creating nanomaterials about 15 years ago. So we don't use typical, traditional, industrial type of approach to developing batteries or propulsion system. We use the most powerful supercomputer on planet Earth. And that's what I will be sharing with you, how to think outside the box, how to be healthy, wealthy, and wise. So I already told you about the financial system in the United States, how the central bank in America is called the Federal Reserve Bank or system. There are 12 branches of the Federal Reserve Bank across the United States. They take care of approximately 4 to 5 states each, roughly. Geographically, they're separated geographically, and I've been to most of them since I was 17 years old. Most people don't even know how it operates. And And I'll tell you even now, I'm not going to even hide it from you, what's inside a central bank in America, or a Federal Reserve Bank. Let's just call it a spade, shall we? Inside is a large building, very peculiar looking building, very menacing building, but you go inside and you see a bunch of conference rooms. That's it. Down in the basement, they have a super secure, massive vault with a bunch of video cameras. Even back in the days, they had hundreds and hundreds of video cameras, because what they do is they shred paper money there. That's right, folks. They don't print money. This is the key point. I hope you can take away from this conversation. For me, money is never printed. Back when the pandemic happened, remember, the U.S. supposedly printed, I'm using quotation marks, $17 trillion. That's not possible, folks, because there won't be enough trees to print $17 trillion on planet Earth. You would have to have like 3 different planets to allow for $17 trillion to be physically printed. They do it digitally with mainframe computers. What back in the day, there used to be these huge, enormous computers. They're called mainframe computers. And so, I'll briefly tell you how it's done so that you're not deceived, you're not misled, you're not mystified by this printing of the money. The system was designed by the smartest economist on planet Earth in the 60s. Since 1965, the U.S. outlined the path to keep printing money digitally. And they have materialized this agenda in 1971. On August the 15th, which was actually a Sunday, so it was August the 16th, on Monday, they have materialized their agenda at the central bank, meeting at the Federal Reserve Bank. So what they did is President Richard Nixon went online, meaning he announced on national television on Sunday evening that he gave a bunch of BS speech, the usual thing that they created a speech for him. Essentially, the U.S. economy has defaulted. The U.S. dollar, they ran into a problem with foreign debt. They couldn't pay out. The French came and they wanted their gold. The U.S. refused. So General de Gaulle came and on his French Navy ship to New York City. It was a huge scandal because the U.S. refused to give him the gold because there was no gold left. It's all a scam, basically. It's a financial scam on the biggest scale you can imagine. So finally, they sorted it out. But the point is this, folks. In order to fix this problem permanently, they went onto this digital printing money digitally. But first they had to disconnect or detether the US dollar from any precious metal, such as gold or silver. So that's what happened in 1971, August the 15th. President Richard Nixon announced that the US dollar will be, going forward, detethered from gold or silver, meaning it's not backed by anything. And that's when the US dollar became what's called fiat money, F-I-A-T, fiat money, just like the car in Italy, the brand. But this term, financial term, comes from Latin. And in Latin, fiat means taken by faith. So essentially it's backed by nothing but faith in this instrument called the US dollar. So if you believe in it, fine, you can accept it. If you don't have faith in it, it's a worthless piece of paper. And that's essentially what it is. It's a piece of paper with fancy colored paper, fancy engraving that is backed by faith. That's why it's called fiat money, not backed by gold or silver. You see, that's what happened in 1971. For over 50 years, the U.S. has been on a very specific trend. Nothing ever could happen to the U.S. that would take it out of balance. All they have to do is push the button a little bit harder on their computer in that room that I've physically seen how it's done. This young guy in the business suit pushes a few buttons that he was told to do, and the computer creates digitally another $1 billion, another $10 billion, another $100 billion, or $17 trillion like they did during the pandemic. That's how it's done. And it's designed to work for 1,000 years. So it will never be stopped. Never. And there's nothing you could do for it to break. Yes, the inflation will go up. And it's all factored in, folks. Try to understand. These people in the 1960s were very smart. If you think the U.S. is going to go down, no. The system was designed to go as far as quintillion percentage points, just like in Hungary in 1945 Anno Domini. That's right. They mislead you with the German economy being in the toilet when they say that they had a 300%, 3,000% inflation in Germany. But that's nothing compared to Hungary. To what happened to, not the Deutschmark, but Hungarian pengu. It's spelled with it's got a weird spelling, but it's pronounced pengu. If you look it up, Hungarian pengu. Keep in mind, I studied this in college. And I'm sharing with you this information you'll never learn anywhere else. It had a quintillion, there was a quintillion percentage point inflation. 1 or 10 times, usually you don't write it out, there's 10 times 20 zeros. Well, it's 1 to the 20th power, using mathematical language here, 1 to the 20th power. Because it's 1 to 9, you could write 10 times, you know, you're not supposed to write 10 times, mathematically, you're supposed to be very, there's a certain format. So it's 10 to the 20th power. That's the inflation and the actual denomination of the Hungarian pengu. Not $100, not 100 pengu, but it was 1 quintillion pengu. I think it was 1,000 quintillion pengu, or something like that. You'll have to do the calculations yourself, but it's a million, billion, trillion, and then quintillion after that, quadrillion, then quintillion. So that's how high it has gotten because they disconnected the pengu from gold during the Second World War. But then at the end of 45, they've reconnected, everything was fine. So the US dollar is set up on the example. They just don't tell you that. You see, it's unbelievable. I studied this and nobody knows about it except for people who study this thing. So my point is this, folks, everything has been already, the US can go on for 1,000 years like this until it gets to the pengu level of Hungary in 1945. Nothing's going to happen to the US economy. It will just, yes, it will continue to devalue the dollar, the inflation will go up, but it's been factored in by very smart people since the 1960s. They put it in place. And they're the smartest people on the planet with the highest IQ of 200. So there's nothing you can do about it. It's been mathematically proven, and numbers do not lie, folks. Try to understand. Whatever you see on your news, it's garbage. Don't even watch the news. I will supply you with all the news you need. Because I was connected to this supercomputer, most powerful supercomputer since 1992. Can you imagine what kind of garbage you've been fed since 1992, that most of it was not true? And I was getting scientifically justifiable based information. Not just about geopolitics and how the banking financial system works, but about anything. About how to lose weight, how to live to be 150. Yes, you can live to be 150. And I'm going to teach you. So if you're interested in this kind of education, I can help you. This is why I'm recording these free videos for you to enjoy. They're absolutely free while I'm walking here and getting some, vitamin D for myself, you see? So I will be sharing with you weekly knowledge during my walks. But if you're interested some people need this special, they feel special. So if you feel special, that you're special, you're super special, you want this one-on-one, we could have a phone conversation with me or Dr. Wilson, whoever. He's very, very busy, so I'm not sure if we'll have to set up some kind of just to get his attention, we might have to set up some kind of a payment plan for you, something like $1,000 an hour, and if you have that kind of money, you can talk to me or him. But this is free, so enjoy it. Absolutely free. What I said, we could talk. You see, we could have a one-on-one phone conversation, so I could get into your situation and guide you and correct you how to lose weight, how to get into trading if you're interested in currency trading, let's say arbitrage trading. This is where you make money by buying and selling currencies remotely from your computer. Today, you don't have to go anywhere. You just need to know when to sell, when to buy. Most people try to sell you these stupid courses. It's just unbelievable. They try to sell you how to trade. Folks, this is garbage. You don't need to know how to trade. You need to know when to trade. When to trade. See, when, not how, but when. But most importantly, we start with the help. This is foundation. So you have to be going on your walks every single day, connecting with Mother Nature, bringing you with you some water. Okay, so Daily walks, number one. Number two, getting the education of a lifetime, meaning getting the correct information from people like me or Dr. Wilson or Dr. Anderson or Dr. Cooper. You see, something that you could genuinely know it came from a reliable source. I was connected to a supercomputer since August of 1992. You were just now introduced to ChatGPT. Can you imagine that? Since 1992, I had an equivalent of my own personal ChatGPT. Can you believe that? And that's the difference between me and you. So all this time I've been getting beautiful data. It's called perfect information. If I have perfect information and somebody doesn't, that means he or she will make a mistake. That's how the world operates. And only a few people on planet Earth make the right decisions because they have what's called perfect information. The lack of it causes you to do stupid things. Lose money, lose your health, end up with type 2 or 1 diabetes, and then die prematurely. We plan to live to be 150 or 200. These videos will be filmed for you as I'm just going for walks, you see? And I will be sharing with you all these tips, how to optimize your health, your wealth, how the financial system works, how to do trading if you're interested. If not, let's see, if that's not your thing, I will share with you, if you're into health and health only, I will share with you how you could sell our products. You see, we've teamed up with this wonderful company called Siberian Health. And you could sell these products in America in all 50 US states to all of the organic stores. I will teach you how to do that. You have to know certain steps. You won't be able to just, pick up the phone and start selling. It's not going to work. It doesn't work that way. There's a process. You have to learn how to sell these organic products, herbal products from Siberian Wellness. It's called. It used to be called Siberian Health, but now it's called Siberian Wellness. So what is Siberian Wellness? It's a beautiful, wonderful company that produces organic, natural vitamin supplements, cosmetics, and other nutritional items. And it was started back in 1996 by a wonderful couple, a man and a woman. It's kind of like a family business, if you will, but they have over 2,000 employees at their 3 facilities. They have 3 plants and a main office. And the way it's shipped to America is through their warehouse that's located in Germany. So so it takes about 3 to 7 business days. Don't expect it to come the next day. This is not Amazon Prime. This is no next day delivery. So keep that in mind, folks. It's going to take a while. So then if you're interested, I could teach you how you could sell this and make an extra $500 to $1,000 part-time in income for just by introducing, healthy, unique, healthy herbal solutions, 100% natural. You see, and also they even have stuff like herbal-based hand lotions, soaps, shampoos, and stuff like that. They produce everything. It's kind of like if you go to Whole Foods, but it's going to be your own Whole Foods. It's just basically being introduced to a healthy lifestyle and having access to the most wonderful products that will arrive at your doorstep from a warehouse in Germany. So that's if you're interested in that. If you just want to learn how to lose weight, you got to learn it through these videos. It's absolutely free information. If you want to know how you can get, streamline your finances, I will share with you how the financial system works and how the banking system works. It's not very complicated if you studied it, and that's what I've studied all my life, essentially. And I told you, since 17, I had access, not by watching some YouTube videos, but I've been to the central bank's many offices, meaning the Federal Reserve office, and I've seen with my own eyes. So it's like a compilation of large conference rooms, and down below is in the basement, it is kind of like a super fortified vault. And at this vault they shred money. Well, they shred and they sort money to be distributed to the commercial branches of banks, retail banks, basically, normal your regular banks across America. And what they do is they get their money, they don't print it there, they get the money shipped to them from what's called the DEP, Department of Engraving and and Printing. So the DEP sends them the cash. They sort it out, send it to all the banks, and then they get the old banknotes from those same banks, and they shred it at that location, at those 12 locations down in the basement. And the reason they do this is because, you know, banknotes get sold, and they try to replenish it, replace it. That's the reason why they shred it regularly. It's done systematically. So anyway, folks, this is what I have for you. It's literally a free source of very valuable information. I'll tell you more about our supercomputer, about our drone that we've created with the help of the... See?
41 minutes 4 seconds. 4,088 steps. Heart rate 122 beats per minute.
I see, went up by just a little bit. It's getting really warm here outdoors. But anyway, so I will share with you all these tips so you learn how to be healthy, wealthy, and wise. Literally, this is not a metaphor. And we will start with daily walks. We will start with, I'll share with you how to do your meditations in the morning. You have a glass of water. It's a very, very important procedure. And it's your time. You don't talk to your family members. You don't pet your dog. You know, none of that. You get up. You do a special Tai Chi-like exercise in the morning. It's like stretching of a very specific form. And that also will start your system. You know, I do it daily for a couple of minutes in bed. And if I don't do it, let's say if I'm traveling somewhere in business, and I'm running late and I don't have time for this, or I've forgotten because I'm in a hotel room somewhere, I'm at a conference somewhere, and I don't do it, I forget to do the stretching in the morning, I don't feel myself the rest of the day. It only happens once or twice per year. Every year I miss that opportunity to stretch. And it's not stretching, it's a special Tai Chi-like exercise which I'm going to teach you, and that will extend your lifespan. It will help expand your lifespan. But besides eating well and sleeping well, and you have to sleep for at least 7 to 8 hours in a dark room, preferably very cool temperature, and you would have to take supplements. For example, I take 25 supplements. Dr. Wilson takes 102 supplements. Well, he wants to live to be 200. I will be fine with 150, really. But those are indispensable, meaning they're very, very important. Like, for example, I take MSM, which is methyl sulfonyl methane. This is something that's found in the blades of grass. That's what animals like to eat with the morning dew. So MSM is very, very important. Vitamin C, of course, I'm taking selenium, I'm taking magnesium, I'm taking D3, even though I'm getting the D3 from the sun. But I highly recommend that you do the same. You take some supplements to supplement your life. Why? Because the soil has been depleted of micronutrients. So we don't get enough nutrients or micronutrients from the food we eat. Well, like I remember, 30, 40 years ago, you could make a salad. It had this beautiful aroma. Tomatoes smell like tomatoes, cucumbers smell like cucumbers, and the dill in the salad was absolutely fabulous. Now nothing smells. You don't get that aroma, that beautiful natural aroma. It's like plastic or something. I'm not sure what. Well, the answer to that, remember, Dr. Wilson and I, we studied this on a scientific, in a scientific way. The reason why nothing tastes like what it used to taste 40 years ago, 30 years ago, is because the soil is depleted. It's been over fertilized. And we're basically surviving on essentially very toxic, poisonous food. The air is polluted. And by the way, I highly suggest that you go for walks somewhere in the park if you live in a city, or if you live in a country, meaning outside the city limits. You just take a kind of a nice park or a nice trail where it's safe for you to walk. You bring some water, and you just let your mind go. The reason I'm recording it right now is for you. Otherwise, I would be just enjoying this beautiful, look at this beautiful scenery of the sun setting or rising, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. So anyway, the point is daily walks, meditation over water with your meditative prayer, etc., 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 whatever you believe in. Just giving thanks that you woke up, because you're not just a piece of sack, piece of meat. You're a spiritual being that is that has a purpose on this planet, and I will even help you. I'll nudge you towards discovering this purpose. And it's very deep. It's spiritual, but it's okay. I have the tools to do so because I've had plenty of time and energy span on this subject, and I will essentially I will help you realize your destiny. And for that, this is where I'm at. If you need that special kind of a special mentoring, I would say this would be the word, proper word, mentoring. If you need a mentor in your life, Dr. Wilson and I, we might be able to step in and help you. For that, you can write, we'll respond, we'll have a phone conversation, and that will propel you into the future on your path to being healthy, wealthy, and wise. So we will have this kind of a one-on-one coaching. We'll just have to set up some kind of a payment program to, number one, compensate for our time, and number two, without this special pricing program, it will be worthless to you. Worthless, because anything that a person receives for free is worthless. The person usually who gets something for free is not taking it seriously, and therefore we have found over the years that even if you get a free haircut, there's something behind it. Meaning that somebody's keeping you there to be around you. There's no such thing as free lunch in a capitalistic system. And if you get something for free, watch out. For example, when you go to a restaurant, McDonald's or a gourmet restaurant, and you sit down and the proprietor, the owner of the restaurant, comes out and says, it's on the house, meaning it's free. You have to wonder, why is it free? What do they put in the food? Why is it free, right? And yet, see, you get free access to all the social media platform. Why? Why is it free? There's no such thing as free. That's why our mentoring will not be free, because you got to pay at least $1,000 for like a weekly session to get ahead. And for those of you who don't have that kind of money, well, you're going to have to watch these free videos on YouTube. But for those of you who are serious, and for those of you who have this kind of capability, then you will be benefiting tremendously, because you'll learn how, literally, this is not a metaphor, a cute saying, you'll learn how to be healthy, you'll learn how to manage your finances, how to be wealthy, and how to be wise. We'll share with you some of the experiences. As I'll be interviewing Dr. Wilson and Dr. Anderson, you will see through our eyes what we've been through in a matter of half an hour, and you'll get that much wiser as a result of those interviews and information that you'll learn. So anyway, the point of this video is introduce you to what we do. My name's Sam. Very soon I'll be introducing to you Dr. Wilson, Dr. Anderson, and many other of our business partners. And we'll be talking about only three things at this point. We plan to talk about how to be healthy, wealthy, and wise. I already shared with you, I'll give you a sneak preview of what it's all about. That the food that we buy at the stores, even organic section, that's not, don't touch it. Don't touch the meat, don't touch the salmon, especially farm-raised salmon is the worst. If you see farm-raised salmon, it's got deformed heads, it's got two heads, sometimes two tails, and it grows 6 times faster because it's all not natural. So it's not natural, and you eat it at your restaurants. Do you really think, just answer this question, do you really think they have enough salmon to feed 350 million Americans at their grocery stores and the restaurants? No. It's all not natural. It's all mostly farm-raised. There is no such thing as wild-caught anymore. People in Alaska, I spoke with some people in Alaska who live by the area where they have this wild catching of the salmon, and it's in danger because there's a Canadian company that's trying to come in and develop a silver mine and a gold mine. It's a Canadian conglomerate, very large corporation that's been lobbying and bribing all the politicians in Alaska. And I believe they've succeeded. So that means no more than likely, no more pristine wild-caught salmon will be left on planet Earth. After the Alaskan last resort, kind of a last area where they catch the salmon, will be polluted by this silver mine. It will be just, there's nothing else. Every fish that you buy at a store, it's got toxic levels of heavy metals, mercury and other heavy metals. So you cannot eat it. I told you about my friend in Florida. He almost died. 400% the limit, over 400% of how much they found, the amount of heavy metals in his body, that he collapsed on the floor. He was just fortunate he was resuscitated at a nearby hospital in Boca Raton, Florida. But the point is this: nothing is edible, nothing is good, nothing is what they purport it to be, nothing what they advertise it to be. You have to be extra careful, and we're going to share with you we're going to give you the tools how to be able to live longer, live a happier life. We're going to share with you also how to form a family. Let's say you're looking to start a family, have children. Well, this art is lost. See, we're surrounded by animals here. There was a little bunny over there. This art is lost. How to structure a family, how to start essentially how to start a healthy relationship, and this and that and this and that. So the idea is that we're going to bring this information to you for free, and you'll be able to become better educated, better prepared person for the next millennium. You'll be able to know how to be healthy, how to take care of yourself, of your family, how to start a family, how to take care of your finances on a global scale. And you'll get wisdom from all of our interviews and conversations we're going to be having. So at this point, I'm going to get something to drink here, and we'll say goodbye here in a minute. Okay, so to conclude our walk today, and to conclude our wonderful meeting, just look for our future videos that will provide you with all the information you need to become a little bit better prepared for this thing called life, intelligent life on our planet. I'll be recording this video for free. These videos will be for you to enjoy, and I suggest you listen to them over and over and over and over again. Why? Because the human brain, unfortunately, the way it is, it comes from into this world, is only designed to retain or remember about 1% of what is being said to the person. So you will only remember at best 1%. But if you listen to it, there's a lot of information I'm sharing with you, because there's a special exercise we're going to teach you how to connect your left and right hemisphere, so your brain will function quite a bit more efficiently. Right now you're at 0.001% of efficiency, so your brain is basically idling. But we're going to put it to work through very, very special auditory exercises. And by the way, we're going to teach you how to learn other languages, and within 8 hours. No grammar. You don't need grammar, because that's not how the human brain learns a language. Grammar only makes it more cumbersome. So we teach phonetics, because pronunciation is how your brain is designed. Remember, little babies, when they come into this world, they don't need any textbooks. They don't need grammar rules. They just repeat what the parents are saying, right? They only repeat what the parents are saying. We're going to teach you how to learn other languages by using phonetics. Similar approach, without any grammar. You don't need grammar. It's completely total nonsense. We have created our own approach. And the reason for that is, if you only speak one language, your mother tongue, you're limited tremendously. You're at a significant disadvantage. because you're not capable of realizing who you are, why you came on this planet, what you're doing, and where you're going. If you speak 3 to 5 languages, that's great. You have an idea, you have an inkling. Okay? So if you speak 10 plus languages, you're what's called a polyglot. It means you have a fairly decent idea of who you are, why you're here, and where you're going. Because you have an idea of, you see, languages have a tendency to complement them, each other, one another. In other words, languages are essentially, they're all connected. And by speaking multiple languages, you'll immediately recognize how they are connected. It's a beautiful fabric of essentially, basically, it will expand your mind. So I highly suggest that you study and learn other languages. English, French, Spanish, Italian, German, Japanese, Korean, Russian, Chinese. It's the most beautiful language on the face of the earth. Chinese, it actually, they don't have words like we have in Indo-European languages. They have descriptive sentences that we would describe as, for example, a braggart, a braggadocious person who brags about himself all the time would be a person who blows up the skin of a cow. And you might say, what sort of an analogy is that? It's because it's very hard to blow up a cow from however orifice you might imagine it. The point is, you cannot do it. And so a person who tries to, let's say, be overly, who likes to brag a lot, in the Chinese culture, that person is called the person who blows up a cow, essentially blows up like a balloon. And that's a beautiful analogy you see in Chinese, in Mandarin Chinese. So I highly recommend that you look into Chinese. It's one of the most beautiful languages, very symbolic language, and you will enjoy it, I'm sure. So this is basically it for today. It's an unusually warm day today and humid, but anyway, I recommend that you go on daily walks. Bring with you some water always, preferably like this on a pleasant day in the nature, and eat healthy food, organic salads and nuts. Stay away from processed food, and make sure you only drink water, nothing else. No coffee, no tea. It's absolutely total, complete garbage. If you drink Coca-Cola, you're I don't even have any way to describe it. So you have to basically drink water, and it has to be preferably like well water or artesian water, and it has to be filtered very, very well. And then you have to add some minerals, because when it goes through reverse osmosis filtering, it deprives the water, it takes all the minerals out of it. And then if you drink that distilled water, it will do a lot of harm to your body. You will take all the minerals out of your bones, out of your system. So you have to add minerals to your water, or just get the stream water from the mountains if you can get there. Look at Queen Elizabeth the second. She lived to be 96. Look at the way she looks. She looked beautiful. I mean, phenomenal. Very youthful. She's got the youthful look, and she was functioning until she was 96 years old. Why? Because she was getting the stream water from the mountains of various sources. But one of them is in England. The other one is in. I will share with you, all those details in our next talk. But the most important thing is, water is the most important thing. Then salads, organic salads, and nuts. Daily walks, 7 to 8 hours of sleep, no stress, meditation, and breathing exercises. That's the key. See, when you breathe in a certain way, you have to do it correctly, because most people breathe improperly, too shallow. So anyway, we're going to cover all that, and you will be absolutely getting this free information as I just go for a walk and share this with you. All this, bits of knowledge and wisdom from me, and I'll try to get Dr. Wilson and Dr. Anderson to also share their information, their experience with us, with you. And this way you will be indeed healthy, wealthy, and wise. So this is it for today. Folks, take care. I hope to see you at the very top. If you want to see what products that you can, look at, you go to www, from Siberian Wellness, that is, you go to siberianwellness.us, and you can order them, and they'll arrive in any of the 50 states within 3 to 7 business days. So take care. God bless you, and I hope to see you at the very top. Enjoy this beautiful view. Look at this.
3 miles. 1 hour 18 seconds. 6,141 steps. Heart rate 108 beats per minute.
108, see? That's the norm. So see you next time.